president is touring the country calling for renewal of billions of dollars in unemployment benefits as part of his jobs bill. But he could just ask the states to pay more attention to who's getting the cash. A new Department of Labor report out today reveals that almost $19 billion in state unemployment benefits were paid in error over the last 3 years. That's more than 10% of the total $180 billion paid out during that period. Here now to discuss are my freedom fighters, Fox Business contributor and my colleague, you know him, Charles Payne. Caroline Heldman, Occidental College political science professor, and Lenore Hawkins, emeritus financial advisor. Caroline, to you first. Should we be concerned that almost $20 billion was paid out in mistake, or by mistake, or should we take the attitude of, oh, what the heck's the difference? At least it went to people that aren't employed anyway.
Well, Judge, I think we should be concerned about this. 10% is too high of an error rate, and I'm glad that the Obama administration is stepping forward and saying, look, states, you need to clean up your act or you're not going to get federal funds the next time around.
Lenore, does the federal government belong in the business of paying people not to work?
Of course not. Anything like this. Unemployment insurance is designed to make the hardship of being unemployed less painful. And to the extent that it is successful, it disincentivizes people to get a new job. In fact, reports show that a full 1/3 of people on unemployment manage to magically find a job as soon as their benefits run out.
How does Wall Street look at something, Charles, like extending unemployment 26 weeks by the states? I'm going to round this off, half a year. The next year and a half by the Fed, so you're up to 99 weeks, almost 2 years. Now, the president wants to add a third year to that. What do you, as a small business owner, what do the big titans in Wall Street think about that?
Well, listen, it's all about fiduciary responsibility, right? How you shepherd and how you handle money. We're talking about governments handling taxpayer money willy-nilly, $19 billion. By the way, that was just for the 26-week program.
Right.
That doesn't count the 99-week program.
Right. So
we're talking maybe $30 billion wasted. And it goes to the underscore that something is wrong with our country when we can waste that kind of money on programs that really don't work in the first place.
Caroline, is unemployment compensation a privilege, a gift from the government, or is it a right that people are entitled to, either under the Constitution or by virtue of their humanity? What does the left say about that?
Well, Judge, it's not in the Constitution, but it should be an economic right. It should be in the Constitution. We're the richest nation in the world. We shouldn't have 1 out of 6 in poverty, an increasing number, the highest in about 30 years.
But unemployment doesn't work.
But Caroline, this is the thing that drives me mad. We would never be the richest country in the world if we just gave people money. It works backwards. I mean, that's why we are the richest country in the world. If this was in the Constitution, we would be Estonia.
No, Charles, we take care of our poor, we take care of our sick, we take care of our elderly. That is what makes us America. And we're not doing a very good job of that right now.
Got it, Lenore, but what about the argument, if you want more of something, subsidize it, so that by subsidizing unemployment, we're getting more of it, not less of it?
Exactly. You make it more attractive. And America has not become so great because...
Go ahead,
exactly.
Lenore. Lenore, please finish, Lenore.
It is not attractive, and it needs to remain unattractive. What has made this country so great is not that you enslave one person for the benefit of another, but that people take care of themselves. One great option that we could use for this would be private personal savings accounts, just like it is done in Chile, and it's been very successful there, where over a person's career, they accumulate savings in this private unemployment assurance account, and whatever's left over by the time they retire is available to help subsidize their retirement.
Well, we certainly know from the Social Security model that the government cannot be counted upon to save our money for us because that Social Security trust fund has been raided and is empty.
No, poverty is not attractive, but it's been made to be very comfortable to the point where people aren't in a rush to get off. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people have been in these situations for a long time, and they are comfortable. They are comfortable. You get a free cell phone, you get free phones, you get free rent, you get free medical. You become very comfortable.
To our other topic about destroying documents, senior officials at the Securities and Exchange Commission admitted this week that allegations that the agency has been illegally destroying documents for years are true. But get this, he also says that the shredding of these files, which involve Bernie Madoff and major financial institutions such as Goldman Sachs and Bank of America, will not harm current or future investigations. At least he doesn't think so. Are we on the same page on this one, Professor Heldman? Is the government right to destroy documents?
No. And they've destroyed somewhere between 9,000 and 35,000. It's the modern age. All of this can be maintained electronically. There are only political reasons to destroy these documents. You know, the SEC is literally the the fox watching the hen house. I mean, we've got this revolving door. We've got conflicts of interest.
Okay, got it.
It would be nice to start over from scratch with the SEC.
Got it, Lenore. What about the following argument? If the SEC investigated some entity and found out there was nothing wrong, should those documents be destroyed? Should those not be available for public scrutiny?
Well, what other police agency in the country would destroy those documents? There may be some additional information that would alter the evidence that they currently have on hand. No other agency would willingly destroy their own evidence.
All right. Are you surprised at this? Are you surprised that they destroy? Are you surprised that they admit they destroy?
No, because they can admit they destroy because they're not going anywhere. They're going to get a bigger budget. And listen, they have failed the American shareholders. I've dealt with the SEC. Right. And you know, listen, I had a situation once where I had to pay a fine with the SEC. I fought them for years. I ended up paying a $25,000 fine because I was spending that much more on lawyers. Right. My firm once was audited by the SEC. They wrote me a letter. And the letter was so comical that I wrote them one back, and my COO, she was afraid. She said, Charles, don't send this letter. The math on it, everything was wrong. I went crazy. I sent the letter and never heard from them again. But they are just inept. What they do is they bullied small firms for years, but they were always intimidated by the Bernie Madoffs of the world. And what they've done is they've wrecked Wall Street and capitalism by doing that.
Got it. Charles Payne, Caroline Heldman, Lenore Hawkins, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure. Up next, I expose the most significant, real, and present danger to our freedom. Stick around and find out from whom.